Hi everyone, this is the syllabus tour video for the online History 131, which is American History 1. So this video will take about 30 minutes. I'm going to go over the main points of the syllabus, kind of really hit the highlights, make sure that like the grading policy, the attendance policy, the general information about the course, that we talk about that. Please be sure to read the syllabus in full as well. And once you have done so, under course information in our Blackboard shell, which you'll see all that in the Blackboard tour video, in there you'll see the syllabus video and a copy of the syllabus. You can mark that reviewed. Again, more on that in the Blackboard tour video once you have gone over the syllabus and familiarized yourself with its contents. So, look, it's so great you get it twice. So, American History 1, History 131, the last day to drop this course without a grade penalty, that is the last day to get a WD that does not affect your GPA, is October 21st, 2020. And there's my contact information. So I'm Amanda Zakanis, and I know that's really hard to remember how to say. Think of Star Trek and Wrath of Khan, Zakanis. But, like I always say, I've been married for over 7 years and my father still can't say it right, so don't feel like you have to say it right. A lot of students call me Miss C or Miss Amanda. Some students call me Amanda, which, that's because I'm okay with it. Just like I'll probably, refer to you by your first names, but I respect you, right? So as long as you're respectful, I don't mind if you call me Amanda. My office hours are all virtual this semester, Monday and Wednesday from 11 to 12, Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 3:30. There are links to each set, the Monday, Wednesday office hours and the Tuesday, Thursday. They're via Skype, which you have access to through your JCC Microsoft Office apps. If you have a situation where you feel you really need to meet me in person, we will make an appointment for that. I will meet you outside and we will both be wearing masks. So because of screen sharing and all the magical things we can do with technology, I don't think anyone's going to really need a face-to-face meeting. But if for some reason you feel like that is the way you need to meet with me, please contact me and we can set that up safely. I'm in the STEAM building. I've got my office phone, but I've also got my Google Voice phone number. I'm working in my home office on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so if you try to call me on my office phone on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I won't be here to pick that up. But the Google Voice phone number, I will enter that Monday through Friday, so that's a good one for you guys to have as well. So there's my email address, and email is the best way to reach me. I respond pretty quickly. That says within 24 hours. It's usually less than that. So just keep in mind, though, that I have kids that are young, which means they wake up horribly early, so I don't stay up very late, and I also don't want to be checking my email for work like 8, 9, 10 p.m. So please keep in mind that if you email me in the evening or late at night, I most likely will not reply until the next morning. Now I may check email in the evening on Fridays when we have something like an exam due that night, just in case, but again, past that dinner time mark, I'm not going to be looking. So please, it's another really good incentive to start assignments earlier than, an hour or two before they're due, if you can. So we are going from civilizations in the Americas, like native civilizations before Columbus shows up, all the way to the end of the Civil War and Reconstruction, which is 1877. So we're going to talk about hundreds of years of stuff in about 16 weeks. So we have a lot to talk about. And we're going to talk about, all kinds of different things that go with that. Ideas about gender, race, politics, cultural diversity and developments, industry, ideas about work, all kinds of stuff. So, lots of stuff. So we're 100% online. We are asynchronous, which means we do not meet at any specified time. We are totally online. Every week has its own folder in Blackboard, which you'll see that in the Blackboard tour video. And each folder has the things that you're supposed to do that week. Now keep in mind also that the reading breakdown, which will be reviewed in the Blackboard tour video, that document shows you every single thing that is assigned for each week in terms of reading and assignments. So I try to make it really easy to know where everything is and when everything is due. I don't want to trick or trap anyone or keep anyone from being successful. So there are about like 4 places where you can find the due date for stuff. So it's pretty out there in the open for you. Blackboard announcements are how I'm going to keep you guys updated about everything. You'll get at least 2 a week from me. Usually the first one is on a Monday, and it's like, hey, this week we're doing da-da-da. Please remember that these things are due Friday night. So I run the course Monday to Friday, but the entire course is open the entire semester. So if you're going to travel, or you're not going to be at your computer on a Friday night, you can always work ahead. So, if it's the weekend before and you're going out of town on like Wednesday evening, the week 2 is open during week 1. Week 5 is open during week 1. The entire semester is open. The only things that open and close at specific times are exams. So keep that in mind if anything comes up in your schedule. It's pretty easy to, work ahead and work at your own pace if needed. So I will send out an announcement on the Monday of each week talking about what we're doing that week. I will send one out on Friday morning reminding everyone to, that things are due and what's expected to be turned in that evening. That aside, you'll get the occasional announcement from me in the middle of the week, like if I've graded something, or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. I try not to inundate, but I also want to make sure that you guys are being informed and reminded of due dates and things like that. So things from this class that we will be able to do when we're done. You will write an argument-driven evidence-based essay. You're going to use MLA format, and in the Blackboard tour video, there is a great sheet I go over that's in there. It's in the Getting Started folder at the top of the weekly lessons section. It's called Writing Tips. That handout has great information and tips and advice on how to write really strong historical papers. And there's a section called Notation that tells you exactly how you need to cite things, both parenthetical citations for like discussion boards and the identification section of exams, and also the works cited citations for your paper. So that information is available to you. We're going to practice critical thinking. Critical thinking is a really important life skill. Basically, the idea of critical thinking is I'm not just going to accept what I'm given, what I'm told. I'm going to question it. I'm going to find evidence to support or contradict it. And I'm going to use evidence in my arguments and also to challenge arguments that we are given. So we're going to read a bunch of things written by people during the time period, more on that later, but there are going to be things that you are not true that they say. And there are going to be things that you maybe don't agree with that they say. Or things that you're like, wow, that is really what happened, and we have other evidence to back up this opinion or this argument. We're going to use the 3 C's: change, continuity, and contingency. Change, of course, not the stuff you have in your pocket. It is, things are different, right? Continuity, things stay the same. And contingency are these little moments in history where something could have gone one way and it went a totally different way instead. And those moments are some of my favorite moments. Because they usually come down to the individual decisions of people like us, and people like us are the people that have shaped history and done incredibly significant and powerful things. And so I like talking about that because any one of us can do any of those things. Let's see, I'm not going to read every single one of these. So let's see, we're going to consider questions of race, class, gender, sexuality, region, ethnicity, and culture to evaluate the continuing struggles for equality and access in America. Here's your text information. It's a package. They're e-text. They're digital textbooks. Once you have that, they come with the purchase of these books comes with an access code. As long as you buy them new, you will use that access code to set up an account for the inquisitive activities that are things that will be graded on in class. So be sure that you have an access code when you purchase your digital books. And there's the e-text opt-out policy. So you can choose to have a hard copy of the book instead, but keep in mind that you still have to have the access code to do the inquisitive. You can't opt out of doing those assignments. And also, you can highlight and take notes on the digital textbook. when you are reading it. So that's pretty cool. And that is mostly what I would do with a hard copy book. So hopefully that is helpful information. So how do we explain the rise of an early republic and its subsequent division? Between the age of pre-contact civilization and the outbreak of civil war in 1861, notice it's lowercase because I'm not talking about the Civil War, I'm talking about just having a civil war. North America became a colonized land as Native Americans were plundered and went to war with Europeans, followed by the colonies' war with an empire and the founding of a republic. I wrote this, you would think I can read. So these changes were neither inevitable nor welcomed by all natives, Africans, or European colonists. We're going to answer some important questions in here, including what does freedom mean? What does mainstream history leave out or ignore during this era? And what is the proper relationship between individuals and government? So we are going to explore all kinds of stuff like Native American ways of life, methods of colonization, the American Revolution, the rise of popular politics, sectionalism, and others. And you're like, Amanda, okay, great, but how are you going to grade us? Well, let me tell you. So 20% of your grade is going to be participation. This will take a couple of different forms, the first of which is discussion boards. You have, I think, 8 of those total across the entire semester. So, not horrific, right? But this is really great because the seated classes get to spend a week doing rough draft stuff and talking about how to write papers. You guys, in my opinion, get something even better. I will give you detailed feedback on your writing in every single discussion board, and I think you do like 4 or 5 of them before you submit your paper. So you're going to have multiple instances of me giving you feedback on your writing before you submit your paper. There is a discussion board FAQ sheet under the Welcome to History 131 in the Getting Started section. You will want to take a look at that. It's also reviewed in the Blackboard tour video, and there's also a how to cite video in the first week as well. Again, that writing tips sheet has that information too. Like I said, I try to put everything, make it really easy to access. Discussion boards will also determine attendance if it's the only thing we have for a week, for an example. If that's the only thing you're turning in and you don't turn it in, it's like not showing up to class to discuss the readings. So if you don't do the discussion, it's like not showing up to class. So that's an attendance issue as well. The other thing you'll have for participation are the inquisitive activities that are linked from your textbook publisher to Blackboard. Again, you need the access code for that. And that is also talked about in the Blackboard tour video. 40% of your grade will be exams. There are 3 online exams. Of course, they're online, right? Multiple choice, true, false, and identification questions. They are week 6, week 12, and week 17. Now, they are not open note, open book. I do provide study guides. I provide lecture outlines each week that have keywords and discussion questions. You do not have to submit that. That is for you to take notes if you want. The study guide is a list of keywords. So all of the keywords that are on the lecture outlines, not every single one, but all of the exam material comes from those keywords. So if you are filling those out or taking notes on those, as we go through, studying for the exam is going to be a lot easier for you. The first exam is worth 10%, and that's less because some of you may have never taken a test like this before, and I have a video talking about how to take the test, how the identification questions work, what's expected of you there. So that's in week 6 where the first exam is. Study guides there, like everything's there, and I will happily answer questions as well after you review that stuff. But even so, even with all of that review material, it may be hard to feel ready or, be ready for an exam in a class that is new to you. So that's why I make that one count less. So that way, if you, don't do as well or kind of freak out or have some anxiety or something as you're taking the test and you don't do as well as you want, that one counts less. Exams 2 and 3, because you will be familiar with the format and what's expected by then, they each count for 15%. The final 40% of your grade is a couple different things. The big thing is that you will write a 3 to 5 page paper. It will be 20% of your grade, and it will be kind of big assessment of the first, almost half of the semester. And you can use anything that's relevant from your discussion boards in your paper as you write. You might, use those as jumping off points depending on how you go about it. More on that, later as we get closer to it. It's due on week 9, so a little bit more than halfway through the semester. It's like early October. It'll be 20% of your grade. It'll be submitted through SafeAssign. The other 20% is group paragraphs. So you're online, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to talk to each other, right? So we're going to have discussion where we talk to each other. I don't know what's wrong with my throat today. But we're also going to have group paragraph assignments. So you'll be randomly put into groups about week 2 or so. And you will work together to create one double-spaced paragraph of 150 to 200 words, which is about half a page, which can be very difficult to do something that short, answering a very focused question. So you'll work together. You'll have the collaboration space if you want to do like video chats. We also have Skype through JCC, as I mentioned before. You'll have your own group. Each group will have their own page where you'll have a discussion board tool. You'll have access to each other's email addresses, and you'll have access to a file exchange where you can upload drafts of the paragraph and work on it together. So lots of spaces for you to collaborate and work on these paragraphs. You'll have 5 of them. There are a total of 20%. So each paragraph is like 4% of your grade. And you can see the weeks there, 4, 7, 11, 14, and 16. All of the information is going to be in Blackboard in the Grade Center, how you're doing on the tests and things. So each assignment has explicit instructions, but the primary focus for everything is going to be the quality of the content. Did you answer the question, like on the paragraphs or the paper? Did you answer all parts of the prompt, or on a discussion board? Some of those are multi-question. Did you answer all of it? Did you support your answer or argument with the proper evidence from class readings? So formatting and mechanics are also important, but they'll play a smaller role. And again, each assignment has specific directions. So every test or paper, I'm going to try to return those within 2 weeks. Sometimes I actually do it in a little less than 2 weeks. But usually it's no more than 2 weeks unless I have some sort of emergency come up, which if I do, of course, I will let you know. Just as if you have any sort of issue, I would like for you to let me know so that we can work together to make sure you stay, caught up on class stuff. So feedback on the discussion boards will pare down as the semester goes on. I think you have one, like week 13 or 14 or something like that. That might have a little less feedback than week 1, for example. Week 1's going to have a lot because that's your first one, and I'm going to be going over stuff with everyone. So that's what that means. You'll still get feedback. It just won't be, paragraphs of feedback. So I'll comment directly on exams. I'll comment directly on papers. It's really cool. I can scrabble on them and do marks and editing marks. And then I can also comment directly on them, and I can give you broader comments as well. So you will get feedback. I try to make it very clear why a grade is given. I don't want you to ever feel like I just smacked an arbitrary number on something with no explanation. So I try to make sure my feedback is very detailed and clear. Of course, after reading feedback, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out, and we can even share the screen and I can go through the paper or exam with you. So just read the feedback first, because then we both know what we're talking about. But after you read that feedback, if you have questions, of course, please let me know. So late work policy, discussion boards, inquisitive activities, and paragraph assignments especially will determine attendance and participation. Those are the things that, you have one of those every week. So on weeks where you have a discussion board, you probably don't have an inquisitive activity. But on weeks where you have a paragraph assignment, you probably have an inquisitive activity and a paragraph assignment to try to make the workload even each week. Those determine attendance and participation. The paragraph assignments are more, attendance. But basically, you need to be turning stuff in each week in order to be counted present in the class. If you don't turn in a discussion board or an inquisitive activity or a paragraph assignment, I can accept the discussion board late with a documented excuse, so like a doctor's note, a death in the family, a medical emergency, something urgent or emergent that comes up. You can't help the timing of it, right? It's not a planned vacation or something like that. But something that's urgent that you couldn't, help the timing of, and, it's going to pull you out of class, and you need to, you have documentation of some sort for it. It doesn't have to be something super detailed. It just needs to be proof of the situation, right? And then I can give you an extension on a discussion board or an inquisitive activity. The paragraph assignments, I cannot, because those are things you do with classmates. It's like being in class and working on something together, sitting at the table together working on something. If you weren't there, you can't do that. But if you have a documented excuse, I can exempt you from it, which means that you wouldn't get a 0. It wouldn't help your grade, but it wouldn't hurt your grade either. It'd be like it just didn't exist in your calculation of your average. Papers must be turned in by the deadline. This is the only thing I accept late, but it's 5 points off each day. Class day, or day, not class day, so like weekends count too, that they're late. I will not accept any late work once it reaches 2 weeks past due. Think about 5 points for 2 weeks. At that point, you can't pass that anyway. But also, think about the schedule that we're on. We have a lot to cover in a short period. I can't, and then we have things we're turning in each week, which then I have to grade and get back to you. So the longer things go, the more bogged down it makes me in my ability to turn things around to you on time. So that's why I have that deadline there. Tests can be made up with a documented excuse, but they close at the deadline. So if you don't take the test, like if you forgot or if you overslept, that's not going to count because the test is open all week. You get one timed attempt, but it's open from Monday to Friday. So, if you have to work on a Friday, there's no reason why you can't take the test on Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, or Monday. So just be aware of that. I try to accommodate various schedules as best I can, and that's why things like that are open all week long. Again, that we are writing in here, this is a citation builder. You can use that, but again, that writing tip sheet I gave you is good. We have 1 extra credit opportunity in here. It's a super fun discussion board. It's open for the entire semester and due on the last day of class by noon if you want that. Information for that is on Blackboard. 10-point scale for grading. Critical success strategies. Check your email. Check it regularly. Please check it regularly. That's going to be the main way that I communicate with you. Like I said, I'll be sending things out a couple times a week. So, for example, if we need to move something, I'll always move things away from us. I won't be like, remember that thing that was due Friday? It's due Tuesday now. I won't do that because I don't hate you. But maybe, something might come up like, December is toward the end of maybe it'll be snowy. I don't think so. But, it's hurricane season and we live in North Carolina, so there might be a storm or something and we have to move the test because Blackboard is down or whatever. I will be able to send you an announcement that also goes out as an email. And we can all check our email from our phones, right? So even if your power is out, you can definitely check that. You can also contact me if your power is out because you can use your phone and your cell signal to email me. You can also use your phone to call me, right? So if you don't have a smartphone necessarily, you can use my Google Voice number. You can call me there. So please just be aware of that. Again, communication, especially now, is going to be very key. If anybody has an issue or anything like that, please let me know what's going on because I can't help you if I don't know. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff pretty quickly. So you'll need to spend, a decent amount of time outside of the things you're doing in the class Blackboard shell, reading, working on paper rough drafts, things like that. Lecture outlines, I mentioned those already. That's provided on Blackboard for each week. You can fill that out as you watch the lecture if you would like. I also provide the lecture notes, which is the script that I lecture from. You can, fill those out too. I've had students who like to print those out and highlight and take notes on them as I talk. I've had other students who like to make extra spaces in the lecture outline to fill in that stuff as they listen to me. We're going to use respectful language to refer to groups, individuals, and fellow students. Comments and feedback given to fellow students should be constructive, especially on your discussion boards. Harassment or inappropriate behavior will not be tolerated. Disagreement, though, is an important part of intellectual discussion, and arguing out issues is critical to a college education. Therefore, you should expect to disagree with the ideas or opinions of others, especially in your discussion sections. Please always disagree in a respectful manner. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Use respectful language to refer to groups, individuals, and fellow students. Okay, that's really important. It's fine if you disagree. It's fine if the evidence points you in a different direction than the person whose discussion board you're commenting on. I think that's great. tell them that and use your evidence to back up your point, and be respectful, So just keep that in mind. I think some of the best conversations come from disagreement, but we just need to make sure we're respectable and academic in nature. Plagiarism and cheating will not be tolerated. Please don't do it. Please, 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 please. It makes me so angry, so very angry when students plagiarize. And the reason why is because you are all so much better than that. So much better than that. You are all so smart and capable of success and great things. And when you plagiarize and take someone else's ideas and try to pass them off at your own, it's such a waste. Also, I have to give you a 0 and report it. So, please don't do it. Please, 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 please don't do it. It's absolutely super duper frustrating because everybody's working hard in the class, and it really does. I mean, the only one you're cheating is you. So, please don't. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Feel free to contact me about anything. I'm very available. You guys are CCP students. I've taught students at North Johnston and Princeton before. I don't think I've taught at Cleveland before. But, some of you, if you have any classmates who have had a class with me before, they'll tell you, you can absolutely send me an email, and I will get back with you if you're having an issue or if you're struggling or something's going on, and we will figure it out. Online attendance policy, the census date for our class is the 19th, which means you need to, or it's the 20th, I think that might be wrong, which means you need to take your enrollment verification quiz by then, or, do something in the course, submit something. So please be sure to do that. We have that video icebreaker. That counts too. If you go in on the first day of class and you do that video icebreaker, or you mark these things reviewed, that's being in class. So I will, we just got to make sure we get you in there so you don't get dropped. You can miss 2 weeks of this class. I would not recommend it, given all the grades and things that happen in this matter of 2 weeks, the amount of material we cover. I would imagine you'd be probably quite lost. However, there are things that happen to us that, are beyond our control and we can't help it. Please know that this is quite frankly a horrifying time. And I completely understand that things are going to come up. And I will work with you as best I can. If something, awful happens, or there's some sort of emergency or something that requires your attention. So please just know that we have this very stringent attendance policy. The key to dealing with that is going to be communicating with me. If you can communicate with me and let me know what's going on, because our course is online and because it's open, the whole thing's open the whole semester, we can figure out how to make it work if you have to miss some class due to some unforeseen circumstance. But again, in order for me to help you, communication is going to be key on that. So you'll need to let me know what's going on as soon as possible. Okay, so y'all are CCP students, which is great. I have had a wonderful, wonderful history with CCP students. I've been very lucky. You guys are great. So, I don't think you guys are going on any trips or anything though this year. I don't think that's a thing that's happening. So you don't have to worry about this little 4 CCP students section, but in the future, just know band trips and things like that, they don't count as a JCC documented absence. If you miss class due to testing, if you have to take the ACT or something, that's fine. That's totally excusable. But band or chorus trips and things like that, they don't count. This little section about JOLT, if you have any sort of difficulties with Blackboard or anything like that, please let them know. You can email them, or you can go to their main page, which that's referenced in the Blackboard tour video. And there might be some videos or tutorials that can help you before you have to contact them. They're super busy right now, so if you can find something in a tutorial that helps, that would be really great. If you look through that stuff and don't see a resolution to your issue, then that would be a good time to contact them. We have a religious or solemn observance policy. If you have a religious reason that you need to miss class for, that's okay. We have a form for that. You just need to let me know 2 weeks prior so I can approve it, and you will be able to either make up work, or if it's a participation thing, it'll be exempted, that kind of thing. Let's see, student concerns. We have what I like to call, well, it's officially called the faculty first policy. I like to call it the we are all adults policy. If there is an issue, and keep in mind, we're online, so all of our communication is going to be via typed text, right? Tone is very hard to convey through typed text. So just, keep that in mind. There might be something, there might be a comment on your discussion post from a fellow student, or I might send an email with a line in it it might sound snarky or sarcastic, and that's not, I can be snarky and sarcastic, but in emails to students, that's really not my intent. So, if I say something that, offends you or upsets you in some way, or if you think I need to be, communicating differently, please let me know. Please, really, I mean it. I'm a human person, which means that I make mistakes from time to time, just like any other human person. And I'll do the same in return. If you comment on a student's post and it comes off as possibly, rude or anything like that, which I highly doubt you guys will do that. But if it happens, it'll be accidental, right? Probably because of the tone not being properly conveyed through typed text. I'll contact you about it and we'll talk it through. So I just expect the same from you, okay? For me. So hopefully we won't have any major issues, but please feel free to talk to me about it. If there is something that comes up that you think, that I've done, it could be a miscommunication. I could make an error. I could make a mistake. That happens. Please feel free to get in touch with me and talk to me about it. And I will absolutely apologize if I've made a mistake. So, really, because that's what people should do, right? So I will do that. If you can't resolve it with me, or you feel like you can't resolve it with me, which hopefully you can. I haven't had this issue really. Students and I very good at communicating with each other. So hopefully that will continue this semester. I really hope so. But there's a chart down here in case that is not the case. So just keep that in mind. All right. So that's the syllabus for the Online American History 1 class. If you have any questions after you've reviewed it, please feel free to reach out and let me know. I'm happy to answer any additional questions. Be sure to mark this reviewed once you've gone over it. And also, be sure to go through and watch the Blackboard tour video and mark that reviewed. And also to review the reading breakdown and mark that reviewed as well, because again, that's our reading schedule for the entire semester. So again, after taking a look at this, please feel free to let me know if you have any questions.